And welcome back to Music Free Static. I hope you're having a fabulous day. And I have with me, once again, the most amazing, wonderful, and amazing, and also amazing, did I mention amazing woman ever? My wife, now of 30 years, by the time this episode comes out, we'll have been married for 30 years. And this is a little bit insane. And I thought it'd be really good to sit and talk about what's it like to be married and how do you stay married for 30 years and hopefully longer. So I guess the first question is kind of, how do you survive 30 years with the same person?
Blinders.
Honestly, there is a lot of that. Yep.
There kind of is, actually. It's you have to be tolerant of the other person's weaknesses, and not in a I'm just going to put up with crap sort of way.
Right.
But there is a tiny bit of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just not so much that it really tears you down. You don't want to put up with that, but
right.
I mean, if the person squeezes the toothpaste tube wrong, so what?
Yes.
Yeah, it may be annoying, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
Right. I mean, because the reality is people are not perfect, right? Even if you find the perfect person, they're not perfect, right? Yeah, we all have weirdness. And so that's definitely one of those things. So, yeah, I got thinking about this because we met in college and got married way too early, which is, I guess, step one to being married 30 years is to get married early. You know, it's like, how have you been married 30 years? Well, I got married 30 years ago. Does that count? How does that?
At the same time, though, there can be an advantage to marrying early because you're still used to changing and growing like all the time. And you have to do some of that when you're married. You have to change. You have to adjust quite a bit, actually, especially at the first part of the marriage.
Definitely. Yeah, because if you get too set in your ways, it can make that meshing hard. Because that was one of the things that we had problems with early, was sort of merging our individual cultures, right? Because, you know, and everybody has their own cultural whatever, family traditions, just how you were brought up. I guess that's the next question. How do we deal with that? Because I know we ran into issues early. Because let's say we got married in June, obviously, and we're doing okay. And then Thanksgiving comes up.
Yeah. I still remember the look I gave you when you suggested we have something other than turkey for Thanksgiving. And I was just like, what?
Right. Because, yeah.
No compute.
Yeah.
You don't do that. That's just, you have turkey at Thanksgiving. That's just what you do.
That's just what you do. And, you know, I came, was like, my dad didn't do much. If we did Thanksgiving, maybe he would buy a turkey breast or something. But my mom, well, yes, often we would do turkey, but sometimes we do other things, which is what prompted me to ask. And
I never did. Never had anything but turkey at Thanksgiving. Never.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously sides and things like that, but no other meat.
Right. And boy, that was the worst fight we'd had in a while, or maybe ever. And
there were others, and they were all stupid and ridiculous. Every single one of them.
Yes. And most of them would just, if we'd been mature enough to actually talk and understand where we were both coming from, I think they would have been a lot easier to deal with.
They wouldn't have turned into fights, that's for sure.
Right.
But at the same time, the fighting actually taught me that I needed to look at things differently.
Okay.
Because I don't like conflict. at
Right.
all. And so trying to avoid that conflict taught me that I needed to look at the situation with a little bit more distance so that I didn't get my emotions so dragged into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was so weird because if someone was like in that particular case, like I couldn't even figure out why is she upset.
Well, one, because I was immature,
Mhm.
and two, because it just that you don't do that.
Yeah, so we had a couple of those really just stupid things, but we got past them, obviously. Yes, I'm still holding it against you. That jerk. No. No. And I guess that goes to one of the other things is being able to live through and understand some, because that's, and forgive. I guess that's really the other side of it.
Because let's face it, people are not perfect, and they're not going to be.
Mhm.
And if you expect perfection out of somebody, you're going to be disappointed.
Right.
And because people aren't perfect, they're going to make mistakes. And if you don't forgive them, you're never going to have a lasting relationship.
Oh man, it's crazy to think, what it would be like. It's like now every time your partner does something wrong, and now you're just keeping score.
Don't
it's like,
keep score in a marriage. Doesn't matter what it's about.
Mhm.
Housework, bringing in income, anything. Don't keep score. Not
Right.
good.
No, because now that forces that attitude of contention and competition that's just not healthy, right? Because marriage was supposed to be working together. At least that's the theory, anyway. One of these days, I'll figure that out, and we'll actually do. No,
We do just fine.
but no, that's the whole point, though. Is marriage is a together thing. Now we were lucky because we like to do the same things but separate, right?
You go read your book. I'll read my book. Maybe we'll talk about it later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just don't bother me while I'm reading my book.
Right. And that was one of those things, a cultural change that we didn't have to make, right? Because we both like these things. And we talked about another episode of, we have different tastes in books and things, but we both like to sit and be quiet and be alone. We understand our need for alone time.
I can't imagine like an introvert and an extrovert trying to make that work. You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Using the same principles, I guess, that we'll talk about, but it would be very difficult.
Yeah, I mean that's my sister, right? Because my sister is even more of an introvert than I am, and her husband is, and their daughter now are just raging extroverts. And you can make it work, but you have to deal with it in certain ways. And that's one of the things we've talked about in the past, of how sometimes our strengths and our weaknesses complement each other.
Yes. You taught me to have a sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And not take everything so seriously and look at words in funny ways sometimes. That was not a thing in my life before.
Yeah.
And I'm better off for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, once you learn the way of the pun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was huge. And honestly, you bring a lovely sense of humor into the house now too, which is, and you laugh at my jokes. So, between the two, there's a lot of laughing going on.
And eye rolling.
And eye rolling.
There's a lot
yes.
of that too.
Yes, I do love it when I can drop something so you can watch your eyes roll. You can see your brain. It's so great. But, and the other side of it is, I was a bit of a slob when, not.
I mean, you still have some of those tendencies,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kind of have to look the other way and just pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm definitely not as tidy. On the other hand, I've gotten significantly better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which is good because disorganization stresses me out
Sure.
big time. So I'm glad you learned that better. And I'm glad we have a spot that you can keep your disorganization where I don't have to see it.
Right. Yeah, it definitely helps. And again, there's all of the understanding that goes with it. It's like, okay, it was, what's the, I know, was that line in, was it Tangled, one of the songs there? It's like, something about you can't change him because people don't really change.
Oh, that bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not completely wrong, but it's not completely true either. Because I think you go into a marriage expecting the person to change or to be somebody that they're not is silly. That's just asking for trouble. On the other hand, people change all the time. I am not the same person now that I was at 18 when we got married.
Same. I'm a lot more patient.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, raising kids really helped me with that, but there are also things that I'm less tolerant of than I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't come up with any off the top of my head, but
sure.
I know there are some that I'm less tolerant of than I used to be, but there are more things that I'm more tolerant of than I used to be. I'm a little bit more accepting of people the way they are than I used to be, instead of being so controlling and trying to change them.
Right. Yeah.
I still fight against that. There's still some of that in me, but I try to not let it out. Because it's not a good way to be. It's not a good way to be as a friend, as a spouse, as a parent. And it doesn't work to try and control people. The only person I can control is me. The only reactions I can control is me, and I just have to figure out how to deal with it. And I've learned how to deal with that a little bit better. Actually, a lot better.
Yeah, same. Because it's too easy to fall into the trap of, well, why aren't you just doing it my way? My way is obviously better.
And it might be, but it might not be. And that's where that whole communication things comes in. People talk about, you need to communicate in a marriage, but they never really tell you how.
Right.
And the thing is that everybody has this picture in their minds of the way it's supposed to be. And it's not always the same picture. And you have to clearly communicate what that picture looks like for you. And then as a couple, figure out which parts of each person's picture they're going to keep.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes it's the easiest way to see it sometimes for us is in cooking. Right. You were very much here's the recipe. I'm going to follow the recipe, and this is how we do it. And I do that too if I'm making a specific dish. But more often than not, I just like to sit with a skillet and throw stuff in until I think it tastes good.
And you're actually pretty good at that. You have a better, I guess, idea for what sort of spices and things work together better than I do. So for me, following that recipe is safer.
Right.
But for you, I trust you to just kind of make it up as you go. I can't trust me to do that.
Right. And we've dealt with that a few times because, for the audience at home, you do most of the cooking. Right. I'm not that I can't cook. I can. But
now
you're home and I'm
you
not.
Didn't used to be able to.
That's true. That's true. My mom taught me how to bake, and a little bit about everything else, but some of it was just like, I didn't know what browning meat was. Like, to make tacos or something like that. I just didn't, that was not something that I ever had to do, but so, okay, this is cool. This is how you do it. And now I can cook. Because that's the only thing you have to do. If you can brown meat, all the cooking is easy. Right?
And you like cooking more than I do. Me, I'm just like, good enough is good enough. As long as it tastes good, I don't care.
Yep.
You enjoy it. You find it relaxing. Me, it's just a chore that has to be done.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I like to cook, or at least help with the cooking on the weekends, especially when I'm home. And, now that I'm coming home a little bit earlier from work, it's nice to be able to sit down and come home sometimes and be able to sit with you and help do dinner. And
it also gives us the time to talk about our days, and
mm-hmm.
sometimes it extends beyond that. Sometimes it's just, it was fine, and that was it.
That was it. Yep. It was work. I went to work. I did things. I came home. Woo. Yeah. Well, it's especially true since you've been working in the evenings lately. So, I'm at work, and then I come home and we have dinner, and then you go to work.
That really sucks. I need to stop. I'll stop when I need to, or
yes.
when we don't need it anymore.
Right. But that's part of what makes it at work being together for so long is, we can both make those sacrifices, choices that we need to keep the family going, and trying to, and not hold it against each other. I know I could totally see it. It's like, well, we've got to spend all this money, or spending all this money because we've got kids in school, and my dad chose to die in a very unfortunate timing. Yeah. For those again
just to
out
be
there,
clear, he didn't choose to die.
He got COVID, and that's how it goes. But it would be easy for somebody to be resentful. It's like, all right, now I have to go to work. Right. And especially since you've been, a homemaker for most of our relationship.
And it's not that I don't resent it. It's just, I don't resent you for it.
Okay. That's fair.
Because it's not your fault. I don't resent your dad for dying. It's not like he chose it.
No.
It's just life happened all at once. And this is the situation we're in. And this is what I have to do. And I just don't want to.
I mean, that's fair. That is very fair. And it's interesting, too. We talked about our different strengths. We learned early on that we cannot plan together. Right? And we can work together as long as the plan is already set and one or the other of us is in charge, but not both of us.
For the most part. I mean, we can do some things together, but playing on the same team as far as a planning kind of thing,
right?
We have completely different approaches.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with either approach. It's just different.
Yeah, because you are a very detail-oriented person, which is awesome. And I tend to be a more high-level person, which is great. But they can clash when you're trying to hit it from both different directions, but that's fine because we can then take advantage of both of those things without, and we know it's okay. We can't plan this together in that sort of way. We can definitely get feedback from each other. We can work with each other. We can, but it's not. But to actually sit down and write the plan, we just know this is how we have to approach it because who we are clashes here.
I think that's where flexibility kind of comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be flexible in your approach to things when you're a couple.
Right.
Because it's not always going to jive. And it's not, I mean, my way doesn't always work the most efficient way.
Mm-hmm.
And neither does yours. But
right.
Between the two ways, we can come up with something pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's, we can sit down and together we can talk the high level of this is what we want to do. Awesome. And then you can dive in and deal with the details because that's what you're really good at. That's what I am really not good at.
Well, this is my controlling nature is in the details because I don't like to come up against something and then be like, what do I do? Because I don't think well on my feet. And so planning all those little details in advance helps me with that.
Right. No, it does. Being prepared definitely helps with that. I do a little bit better on, dealing with things as they come. But it's nice to have the framework of a plan to fall back on if there is one. Or it's like, okay, here's a foundation I can bounce in. I want to shift gears here because I've been wondering about this. When did being married stop feeling weird?
I don't think there's any one specific time, but it did feel really weird at first.
Right.
And it was longer than a year. Probably maybe around 5 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
But it might have even taken me longer than that to feel comfortable with saying my husband or I am a wife. I think that took me a really long time to get used to. But it was really odd at first. And it definitely took longer than a year.
Mm-hmm.
Probably closer to 4 or 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm there with you. It was great being married. It's like, yes, I have this wonderful person. She is my wife. But that is such a weird word to apply to anything involving me.
Yes.
Yeah, this is great. She's my wife. I'm her husband. Those words apply to me. That's just odd. You know?
Heck, it took me a long time to be comfortable with, I guess, applying the word woman to me.
Okay.
Probably not until I was 30, 35 years old did that stop feeling weird.
Okay. Because, yeah, you were a girl.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it took me longer to get used to that than it did to get used to wife.
Okay.
And you're my husband.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was just weird.
That actually is interesting. I hadn't really thought about that because for me, I was just a guy. Right.
And that applies both to, kids and adults in my mind anyway.
Yeah, right.
It's purely a mental thing. It's just me and it's not important, but it still feels weird.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know it was weird thinking about, being married and all this stuff in part because, of course, all of our friends were still single. Right. So we got married early and it was great. But what was it Heather who kept referring to us as, her married friends?
I think so.
It's like, it was just so weird. And so, it was like thinking back on that is like 5 years, 6. Yeah. I mean, we'd definitely been together a while before it really clicked just as oh yeah, of course we're married. That's just how things are. And it took a while to be, and it wasn't a light switch. Oh, today it's weird and tomorrow it's fabulous, or, it's just like, oh yeah, okay, this is good. And oh yeah, I'm a parent.
I got used to that pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what the difference was. Maybe because I was looking forward to that more than being married. I don't know. When I was growing up, I think that was more of a draw to me. So I kind of got used to that quite a bit faster, but I don't know. I don't know exactly why.
I could see that. I mean, I think it's sometimes easier to deal with that too, because you've got this little person here. And it's like, oh yeah, this little person, yeah, I'm her father. I'm okay with this. It's just strange to think back on that. It's like, hey, wait a minute, when did it stop being weird and start being comfortable?
It was a while.
Mm-hmm.
I said it was at least 4 or 5 years, at least. It'd probably take other people less time to get used to it, but I'm one that change is very, very difficult for me to accept, get used to. It's really, really hard.
Right.
And that was one of those things it was a change, a whole change in my identity.
Well, and you had the extra challenge because you changed your name. And so I don't know if
wasn't as big of a deal to me.
Okay. But just thinking of identity, I just like, well, if I had to change my name, would I, how long would that take to deal with?
That only took me, a couple of years. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
I thought it would be, but it wasn't. It wasn't as much of an issue for me as this other person is now part of my identity.
Okay. And not only part of my identity, but they're always there.
No, that was never a problem for me.
I don't know how much of a problem it was. It was just sort of weird because, it was when I grew up, especially later in my adolescence, it was just me and Dad, and he was gone a lot. So it was just me for a lot of the time. And then went to college, and mostly just me in my dorm room because, of course, my roommate was gone most of the time. And then we get married. Of course, we were together a lot prior to actually getting married. But okay, we're married. We're now in our apartment, and you're just always, I will put air quotes because obviously you weren't chained into the apartment and couldn't leave.
No.
Because, you were going to class and I was going to class and all that stuff, but you were always a presence even when you were gone. Right? Because your stuff was there. Right? It was your stereo system that we were listening to. And there were 2 toothbrushes in the bathroom, and and that took a little bit of time. It wasn't long, but it was definitely a mind shift for me. It's like, oh yeah, I'm not alone anymore.
I had less of an issue with that because I shared room with siblings.
Mm-hmm.
It was more along those lines, it was more there's a boy stings around here. Because I grew up mostly with my sister, and
right.
It just wasn't it was a lot of the same kinds of things. But there's a boy stings here.
Right.
Why can't I have it just girly?
Yeah, right. It's like, yeah, because I had, whatever, my computer and I had football and I don't know, whatever else I had with me, but, just there were men's clothes, right? So, yeah, I definitely got that. So one of the weirdest things for me actually was one of the first times we did laundry. Because it's one thing, okay, so it's one thing to, we've been married, obviously, we were together without needing the clothes, but to do the laundry and we're pulling the clothes out and there's your underwear and there's your bra and there's like, that was just weird. That was just one of those things that just, it's one thing to knowing that, okay, yes, you're wearing it and to see it on you, but another thing is pulling it out of the laundry, and this is just, there was a whole weirdness. It didn't take long to get through it, but it was just, I was not used to pulling women's delicates out of my laundry.
That was never an issue for me. It never even occurred to me that was weird.
Well, you were always pulling women's delicates out of your laundry, so it's a thing. No.
There's the eye roll.
There's the eye roll again. Well, we talk about being different. Speaking of the eye roll, we have significantly different love languages, right? And
they're almost completely opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite, but almost completely.
Yeah. Because I'm all about, words of affirmation and touch and a little bit of the togetherness. And you're all about service and spending time, and I feel like I'm missing one, which is normal for me.
There was the gifts one, which is
Right.
I like that, but it's not really.
Mm-hmm.
my thing. For me, that's more of a, oh, the person thought of me more than the gift.
Yeah.
And that kind of ties into they spent time and effort on me.
Right. And there was, what's interesting is like, so, of course, touch is one of my love languages. But you hate it, or especially
I feel claustrophobic with touch.
Mm-hmm.
But I have worked, because I know that's something that's important to you, I have worked to incorporate that into what I do because I know it's important to you.
Right. And at the same time, I also try to do more to help you do things. You know, it's like doing laundry this morning. You know, it's like,
that was really nice to wake up and it was already done.
I mean, it's like, to be fair, it's the Dark's, and almost none of it's yours anyway.
Mostly yours and Kyle's.
Yeah.
I don't know that I had any in that load.
That load you might not have. It's still sitting on the couch. We could go.
Yeah, that's what we use our couch for these days. It's a laundry holder.
The couch is great at holding laundry. Even the smaller one that we've got, you know, the big one is gone. So now we have to put the laundry away because now there's only one place to sit. You can't just shove it into the middle for two people. Oh, yeah. It's just, it takes a lot of understanding and changing, not just hoping your partner will change or hoping your spouse will change, but you changing as well, right?
You have to. And that goes along with the patience is if you can see your partner is working on themselves, you can be a little bit more patient and wait until, because it takes time. It takes time to change. But both partners have to, and they change together toward the same goal. Trying to become a better person, a more understanding person, a kinder, a more service-oriented person. Doing all of those things to become a better person will help you become a better partner as well, but both have to do it.
Right. So, what do you do differently now than you did when we were first married?
Yeah, so much. Well, one, I'm less controlling. I'm not trying to make you be the person I want you to be.
Yep.
You are who you are, and I just have to deal with it. And if I need something changed, I have to say something. This is what's going on. This is how I feel about it. This would help me feel better about it.
Right, that was one of those things I always had a problem with. Still do in some ways. It's like, you're doing something that bothers me. I should probably just tell you rather than just hope you'll know that this bothers me and change on you.
That is a massive thing in any relationship, not just, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whatever. In a parent-child relationship, in work relationships, that's a massive thing, expecting people to be able to read your mind. And if you put it in that words, they're like, oh, no, I don't do that. But we, as humans, we generally do expect people to do things the way we have in our mind. Talking about that picture in our minds, we have this idea of what it should be like, and it's not going to be like that.
Right.
Because it's our picture, it's not everybody else's picture. And that's where that communication has to be very, very clear. And this is the way I'm seeing it. And maybe I'm wrong.
Right. You don't get that, oh, wait, they didn't notice my little huff and eye roll? Obviously, they don't love me.
And heaven forbid they not know exactly what that huff and eye roll meant. Maybe it's, I'm thinking about something somebody else did. Who knows?
Right.
You have to actually specifically say, this is what the problem is. And maybe it's not a big problem. Like, like I said before, the whole toothpaste tube thing. I know you and I have never really had that issue, but
no, but
some couples do, and it's a
right.
real problem for them.
Yeah, and that's
you have to tell them, this is why I like it this way. Well, maybe it's not a problem.
Mm-hmm. There are a couple of, and I can't come up with specifics, but I know there are some things that I changed and I do differently because I knew they bothered you. And so I make sure they bother you. No.
No.
No, but you had a specific way of doing something. I didn't care or didn't care enough. Says, oh, yeah, okay, fine. I'll do it that way. And I can't remember what it was, what it's been, because it's
probably
been
loading the dishwasher was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only because you didn't understand that loading it your way was going to mean I have to do extra work later because it's not going to get as clean that way.
Yeah.
Which means then I have to rewash it, put it in,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I wasn't clear about that.
Right. Yeah, there are definitely a few of those things that, like I said, I can't remember what they all are now at this point, but it was definitely all right.
They're usually little things like that, like the dishwasher. It's little things, and over time it was like, is it really a big deal to just wash one or two again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of the time it's not going to kill me, and so I just let it go. But
yeah, being able to. I don't want to say pick your battles because that sounds more aggressive than it really is, but more along the lines of, does this actually matter? And no, a lot of it doesn't. So why do I insist on doing it my way versus making a change, right? And so there were definitely a few of those types of things that, as I said, I can't remember what they were. Most of them were probably around being clean and or tidy.
I think so.
Yeah. Because again, it wasn't like I didn't shower, but it was.
I know one of the things that you brought up when kids were very, very little was I would leave the bathroom door open when I went to the bathroom.
Yes.
And I had a specific reason for it. I didn't used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it bothered you.
Yeah.
And I tried to explain, I think I explained at the time, well, I leave it open because if I close the door, then I have crying kids at the door, and it's hard to pee when someone's crying for you.
Right.
As they got older, it wasn't a big deal. And it was only an issue with the first two.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they were able to keep each other company, I didn't have to do that anymore with. Right. I mean, I guess technically I didn't have to do it anyway, but it was just easier for me to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely was one of those, like, close the door, man. But yeah, once I understood what was going on and why and stuff, it didn't stop bothering me. But it still felt weird. But it wasn't something that it's like, okay, I'm not going to let this get to me, right? I'm not going to, hold it against you or something, right? It was just, okay, yeah, this is just going to weird me out forever, but I understand all the reasoning and I'll just go with it.
And after, I guess, a few months, it wasn't very long after that kids stopped whining and crying at the door when I went to the bathroom. Yeah. And so I was able to close the door, and it hasn't been an issue since, but
yeah, well,
there was a reason I did it that way.
Yeah. Well, I said, now that they're in their 20s, they don't do that too often anyway, so.
I hope not. That would be really weird.
That would be odd. But no, it's just, there are just so many of those little things. And when you put it together, yeah, we've, I know I've had to change. I know you've had to change. And we've done it in a way that has brought us together so that when we've had to deal with some of those challenges, we've been able to do it together.
I think the principle behind that is what can I do to show love for you? And, doing things, service kind of things, or like I try to make sure dinner is ready a specific time because I know that's more important to you. Me, I'm just like, when I get hungry, I don't care. But for you, it's a little bit more important. So I try to make sure that I do that. Or, you know, you do things for me, I do things for you. I try to get over my claustrophobia with touch because that's important to you.
Yeah.
And that's really important in a relationship, trying to do things that will help make the other person feel loved. And you can't just do things that would make you feel loved, although I absolutely do that because it's more natural to me. But
sure.
But it's, what do I do that the other person says will help them feel loved? And that's a communication thing, is you need to ask what kinds of things make you feel loved, and then go out and do those kinds of things.
Right. I mean, that's why I'm also not all up in your business all the time, right? You know, it's like, because I know you're not a touchy-feely type of person.
I've gotten used to it. But the whole words thing, I still really, really struggle with that.
Right. And for me, it's gotten to a point where it is a joke. Because, well, when I tell you that I love you and all this stuff, it's true. But
it makes me feel so uncomfortable, and I have not figured out, one, why it makes me feel uncomfortable, and two, how to deal with it, how to work around it. I'm working on it.
Right. But it also becomes, all right, how can I say this in the most cheesy, romantic, sloppy sort of way, and see if I can get you to see your brain again?
That's true. That's true.
You know, like, I knew it was going to be crazy, because I remember you had been out mowing the lawn, I think, and you had lost your wedding ring.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I remember this.
And I went out and I found it. So at dinner that night, and I think I told the kids I was going to do this.
Yes, you did. And
at dinner that night, it's like, I got down on one knee with the ring.
Oh gosh.
You know, right? Because I knew. It was just totally sloppy, and you just would have just rolled your eyes. They just kept rolling. It was like a slot machine, you know.
Yes, I rolled my eyes, but there was also the, you found it! I thought I was never going to see it again.
Yeah. And fortunately, it was easy enough to find. The light was right. I walked out there and I saw was looking for a minute, and then light glinted off the ring. It's like, oh, okay, there it is. Found it. But yeah, it was just one of those things, like, okay, I know I am going full cheese right here.
And the kids were kind of torn between, because you had told them before, so it was torn between, oh, I can't wait to see this, and oh my gosh, my parents are being parents.
Absolutely. Yeah. But all of that stuff helped, has brought us together. So I said, when we had trials, I know, like, when my dad died, my foundation got knocked out from under me. It was years before I got back, years in therapy before I got back.
Then I was like, you need to go. I don't care that we don't have money. You've got to go.
Yeah. I needed it. And I was grateful, because I was thinking, okay, I think I need to go. I need to do something. And then you brought it up, because I think you need to go. So, yeah. Okay. And that was great. And you were there to help support me when I couldn't support myself at that point.
And I had to be a lot more patient with you, because I understood that it was a massive problem. And as you came home from therapy and told me some of the things, I was just like, oh, well, that makes sense why this is affecting you so much. I get it. But I had to be quite a bit more patient even before I understood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was tough, because I'm used to being the man, the stoic, rock in the storm that you can cling to. And
which I wouldn't do, because touch.
Well, yes.
But it's an emotional rock. which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Because I can go with the flow. I'm pretty good at that most of the time. But suddenly I was unmoored, right? We're going with all the nautical metaphors here. And, I just, knowing that I could lean on you emotionally and, because I had to. I didn't have anything else at that point.
And I knew that you needed me to be quite a bit. You needed me to be that rock right then. And so there were a lot of things were going on in our lives at that time. And I had to shoulder most of those myself, which I tend to do that anyway for the most part.
Right.
But I knew I couldn't really rely on you to be my support at the time because you were really, really struggling. And I was able to manage that fine because I was able to understand
and
that you needed some time to deal with you.
And that was part of my problem too, was I'm a wreck and I'm seeing you having to do more because I can't do it. And that made it worse. Right? Because
I understand, but seriously, I was all right.
So yeah, it's but it's nice knowing that we're there for each other when we have those trials and those problems, and then we can come out the other side and hopefully be better people and a better couple because of it.
I think that's one of the things is when you're going through challenging times, to really make that effort to connect with one another in ways that bring you closer together. I think those are the times where you really have to work harder at staying closer together, because especially like through raising kids, that's challenging, and it really has a natural ability, I guess, to tear couples apart. It just does, because you're all going in different directions, and if you don't make that effort to connect together consistently, you're going to be torn apart. The kids will leave because that's what they should do, and then you'll have nothing left in a marriage,
right?
Because you haven't stayed connected that whole time. You have to put that effort in, especially in those difficult times.
Yeah, I've heard a few of those stories of, our kids were the only thing we had in common, and the kids moved out and nothing else in common.
And that's not an insurmountable problem. You can come together then and work at rebuilding that relationship. It is a choice.
Yep.
But it is harder if you haven't worked that whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, we have been going for a while. Anything else you want to say before we close for the day?
Oh yeah, one of the things I was thinking of was having respect for one another.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a really hard thing as humans, to respect people when you see all their flaws. And in a relationship, when you're married, you're gonna see flaws. They are there, you're gonna see them, but treating people with respect and, I guess, looking for those good things, not necessarily ignoring the flaws and the bad things, but giving them the weight they deserve.
Right.
Not combing your hair one day is just that you shouldn't give that any more weight than combing hair deserves.
Right.
It's just not that big of a thing. And then you working on the things that are big, especially the other person, that's showing respect to one another.
No, that is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. And honestly, having that respect for each other is part of what makes you want to want to accept them and change for them. I'm right, because love is great. I'll be the first to admit I love love. Love is awesome, but once you get out of the fiery passion of dating and the first year or so,
that's infatuation.
Uh-huh.
Love is lasting. Love
Yes.
is more than just emotion. It requires action,
Yeah, and all of
and
that.
not just certain types of action.
Yeah, yeah, and having all of that mutual respect and care for the other person in your life. Yeah, okay, I'm willing to fold my laundry on occasion. And
Hopefully every time, because you're a big boy, you can do it yourself.
I can do it myself. Yep, I can actually fold my laundry. But yeah, all of those types of things, like, okay, yeah, I can do dishes the way she wants them done. I can do right, because if I didn't have that respect, I wouldn't listen to you in the first place.
Same.
So, awesome. Well, on that note, let us know what you think at home, and probably find someone that you can at least wave friendly to. And if you are married, give your spouse an extra dose of whatever it is that they need in their lives. And if you have tips, tricks, what's worked, what hasn't worked, whatever, let us know, because I know there are a number of our listeners out there who are probably divorced or have had other issues. That happens. That happens. So it's okay. But let us know. And until next time, be excellent to each other. And this is Music Free Static signing off.